And so he prayed to he prayed to God, and God says, okay, I won't destroy them. I'll go with you. And so then God said, okay, Moses, get up and get on back down the hill and tell these people what I said. So I want to pick up in verse 8. It says this. It says, whenever Moses went out to the tent of the meeting, all the people would get up and stand in the entrances of their own tents. They would all watch Moses until he disappeared inside. As he went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and hover at its entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. When the people saw the cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, they would stand and bow down in front of their tents. I guess they built the golden calves when they got up. I don't know. Inside the tent of the meeting, watch this, I love this. It says, the Lord will speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. Did you just hear that? The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks with a friend. So the next time somebody tells you that, okay, I can just get saved and I'm okay, tell them stop playing. No, you don't understand. I need God to speak to me as one speaks to a friend. I need some face-to-face communication with God. You say, well, gosh, I can't see God. You understand what I need more of his presence in my life. Do you understand that? Do you understand how significant that was? In another chapter, I want to say this real quick. I was talking to Vanessa about this the other day as we were driving down the road. It's amazing to me how God thought about Moses. Moses decided he wanted to marry an Ethiopian woman. Y'all remember that woman, right? And then Aaron and Miriam had a problem with that, right? And then God called all three of them. He was like, okay, Moses, you, Aaron, and Miriam, go out to the tent. Whoa, we get to go. And it had exclamation points there. So they got out to the tent. And God says, you know what? He said, if there was a prophet among you, I would speak to him in riddles. He says, but not Moses. He says, I speak to Moses in plain language. He says, I speak to him in plain language. Basically what he says, I don't give Moses visions and dreams. I talk to him face to face. He says, how come you were not afraid to speak against him? Why am I saying all of this? Listen, when you have a special place where you meet with God and you talk to God, God will actually meet you there. And he will start talking to you, not in riddles, but in plain talk. You understand what I'm saying? Not being confused about what it is that he wants you to do, but you can understand every word. Because how many of you know that sometimes when God says stuff to us, sometimes it's a little unclear. We're like, okay, which way do I need to go? No. When he talked to Moses in plain. How many of y'all want a relationship like that with God? To where he just talks to you. Well, see, to have that relationship, you got to have this special place. I know we can't have the tent. Like, well, if you want a tent, maybe you can have a tent. But you know what? It could be your living room. It could be your couch, a special place, a special time where God meets you and you meet him and he talks to you. I think that's a pretty good deal. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. After Moses would return to the camp, but the young man who assisted him, Joshua son of Nun, would remain behind in the tent of the meeting. Watch this. One day Moses said to the Lord, everybody say, said to the Lord. When you say you love people, you talk to them. 2014, our prayer life has got to increase. You hear what I said? Our prayer life has got to increase. You understand what I'm saying? Tony be crazy if he just walked around talking about he loved Diane but never said a word to her. I think she'd have a problem with that. I want you to know God has a problem with that. When you walk around talking about, I love you so much, but you don't say a word to him. See, Moses talked to him. Moses said to the Lord, listen to this conversation. He says, Lord, you've been telling me, take these people up to the promised land, but you haven't told me whom you will send with me. He says, you have told me, I know you by name. Aren't you glad God knows you by name? He says, I know you by name, and I look favorably on you. Verse 13 is where I'm going. He says, if this is true that you look favorably on me, Moses says, let me know your ways. Some translation says, teach me your ways. So I want you to understand how significant this is. Remember what just happened. It was over in chapter 32. God was about to wipe some people out. Moses was at a point to where he wanted to hit reset on everything. God just give us a mulligan, and we know God gave him a mulligan. But I want you to understand that Moses, how many of you know that Moses could have been puffed up with pride? When he went back to God and begged to God for the people, and God did what he said, and God says, okay, I'll do it. He was like, okay, get up, go back down the hill and tell the people what I just told you. Moses could have got back. He could have got back up and went down the hill because that was a pretty big moment. He could have said, you know what? Because I'm so good, I went and talked to God. And because I just do everything right all the time, which he didn't, God is going to spare you guys. He could have thought that from that moment on, he could have thought that he was smart enough to get the job done. But you know what he did? He says, God, you know what? Although I know I got pull with you, here's what I really want you to do. I just want you to teach me your ways. In other words, God, show me, because if I can learn your ways, God, I can be a better leader. Do you understand what Moses is saying? Understand, he didn't build the calves. The people did it. God, teach me your way. And watch what Moses says. He says, teach me your ways. Watch this. So that I may understand you more fully. Did you hear what he said? Do you hear the cry of Moses' heart? So that I may understand you more fully. Watch this. And continue to enjoy your favor. And then watch what he says, God. And remember that these people are your people. I don't know if Moses was trying to be funny and saying, God, remember that these are the people that you gave me to lead. By the way, you know, when you gave them to me, you knew what they were capable of. No, I want to be serious for a second there. Moses says, God, teach me your ways. Watch this. Number one, he had enough sense to ask God. He had enough sense to ask God. See, your 2013 may not have been bad. I'm not saying that. It may have been the best year that you've had thus far in your life. But how many of you know that it's crucial in 2014 that you throw up your hands like Moses and say, God, teach me your ways. I said this earlier, when God begins to teach you his ways, now you have the ability to become a better you. Now you have an ability to become a better son and a better daughter to our King. Does that make sense? Moses says, teach me your ways. Notice what Moses didn't say. He had pull, right? He could have said, God, okay, now if it's true that you know me by name, if it's true, right, that you look favorably on me, God, I need $1 million. Or 1 million cattle, whatever it was. You understand what I'm saying. God, if it's true that you know, that you call me by name and that you look favorably on me, here's what I need you to do. I need you to make my journey out of this wilderness so easy that every time we face opposition, every time they see us coming, God, I just want them all to bow down to us. We do that sometimes, right, God? Y'all ever do that sometimes? Listen, when I was younger, when I would drive and people would like cut me off, I used to say, man, I wish I had some magic just to make their tire go flat or something. Y'all ever done that stuff? You know you've said that before. Have you ever wished you had magic powers? Just, you really didn't want to hurt anybody, but just to let them know, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? I imagine Moses thought about a lot of this stuff. He could have said, God, since you know me by name and since you look on me favorably, just give me favor in the whole world. Just give me the favor of the whole. Moses didn't say that because you know why he didn't say that? Because none of that stuff really mattered to Moses. You know what mattered most to Moses? That the Lord would show him how to be a better him. That the Lord would show him how to become a better leader. How about Moses still desiring to be a good leader after all the stuff they did? Moses showed us. Now, I know you say, well, there also were times, Pastor D, when he would talk crazy to God about those people. Yeah, I know. Sometimes we do that. Yeah, sometimes we do that. But how about him sticking to it? None of that other stuff mattered to God. This is what I mean. 2014, the only thing that has to matter to the believers is that God would show us his ways. It's the only thing that, why do I say it's the only thing that matters? Well, it's kind of like Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. You know why? Because when you do that, all this other stuff is going to be, I think Moses could have penned Matthew 6:33 way back, because that's what he was saying. God, if I can know your ways, if I can know you better, everything else will be okay.